welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Welcome to the show. I hope you're having a really great day. I know I am. And today on our show, we have the lovely, lovely Renee Jones from Pack Your Own Bag. And her website is packyourownbag.com. Is it bag or bags, Renee? Welcome to the show.
One bag. Thank you for having me.
That's great. Well, today in Healthy Lifestyle, we're going to give you some verbal caffeine to light you up with possibilities. And thank you so much for being on. Just to give our listeners a little bit of something about yourself, little bio of yourself.
Well, I actually spent 40 years on the diet yo-yo. I started when I was 10. My mother was a little concerned about that, but she thought if we just figure it out now, she'll be ready for the rest of her life. Right. Unfortunately, she wasn't very good at it. I certainly wasn't good at it. And it was just up and down until I was staring down my 50th birthday. And I thought, if I don't lose it now, it's never going to happen. So I started out like everyone else with my New Year's resolution, and I did all right for a few days and then stopped. And then I thought, no, we're going to do this. So I started again the 1st of February, March. And then in April, I needed a bigger size. And I thought, I can't seem to do this. So I thought, I need help. I went online. I was looking for information, ran across a lady who helped people with emotional eating. And I thought, oh, that's what this is. Now I know what it is. And I started working with that and found that if I would just face my stuff, I no longer needed to stuff my face.
Nice.
So I reached my goal weight the week before my 50th birthday in 2012. And today I'm at exactly the same size.
Yeah. So I love that. And you really spent 40 years on a diet.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down.
And a lot of people, women and men, do spend all this time on a diet. And part of it is how we eat in America. That's for sure. So we have a lot of really bad habits, a lot of really bad food that is going to give you leaky gut and things like that. Our flour is 42 chromosomes when it should be 14. That's why I don't know if you've ever gone to Europe, but when I go to Europe, I lose weight because their flour, and I eat pasta every night. I might eat pizza. I drink my wine, but it's all fresh food. They don't use all these ingredients that are all chemical. And so I make a recommendation: shop the perimeter of the grocery store, because that's where most of the healthy foods are. Inside on the aisles is all processed food, and stay away from that. But what's the diet that actually worked for you that allowed you to lose that weight just before your 50th birthday? And congratulations for that.
Thank you. Well, the only one that I knew at the time, which was low fat and low calorie. So I was basically starving myself. And 2 years later, I was struggling to maintain. And I ran across a metabolic assessment that told me that my body actually needed more fat and more protein. And I thought, this is never going to work. If I get cheese sauce on my broccoli, that's not going to work. But I thought, I will try it for a week and see what happens. And I lost 2 pounds. I was 52. I was 119 pounds, and I lost 2 more. And I thought, okay, maybe they do know what they're doing. So I think it's really important for us to find the nutritional plan that works for our bodies.
Our bodies. We got to know more about our bodies. I know for me, what I was yo-yoing myself. And for me, I needed to jumpstart. My doctor found out that my metabolism was almost at a stop. Because I had been eating, I don't like breakfast. I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat until I'm hungry. I'm usually not hungry till 12 or 1 o'clock. And then I eat something. And then I usually don't eat because I'm distracted with work, because I love what I do. Right. And then I don't eat. And then I'm really hungry. And then I eat too much and I overeat. So I had actually literally told my body, you're on starvation mode. So my body said, I got to hold it. I got to hold it. I got to hold it. I don't want to hold it anymore. So she put me on eating 6 small meals a day, 3 hours apart. I have to actually set a timer because it's annoying. I feel
Yes.
like I'm always eating. I'm like, I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry. She's like, you got to eat and you got to make yourself eat. And she jump started my metabolism, and my metabolism was like, oh yeah, you want me to do this now? Okay. And it came in and started playing again. So that was helpful. But this is more than just doing things like that, because I already dealt with my stuff. So that's what you're talking about too, is where does emotional eating come from, Renee?
Well, it tends to come from stuff that has affected us.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We learn to put things in our mouths when we're upset from birth. Because when a baby cries, what do? But we put something in their mouth.
A binky or a bottle.
Binky or bottle, absolutely. So as you get older, then, the binky's not quite so cool. So people go to their nails or their thumb. And as we get older, then we go to pizza and donuts because they're easy and available.
And they're comfort.
They're comfort foods. Absolutely. Because we learned that if we put something in our mouths, we feel better.
Yeah. Oh, and just for some people who might not know it, we refer to it as binkies, but most people refer to it as pacifiers.
Pacifiers.
So if you didn't know what a binky was, it's a pacifier. So that's just the name that our Italian name that we always use is get the binky. So
yeah.
God, where's the binky?
Because there is that oral soothing that we are born with. Yeah. So it works. I mean, the bottle, the breast, anything will work. Pens, people who chew on their pens all the time, they're looking for something to soothe them. And whatever that was created from, whether it's just habit or this is how I'm nervous and I don't know what to do. I'm anxious. I don't know what to do, but I've got my nails. I can chew on my nails. Whatever's available, that's what we do. But it's a self-soothing behavior.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think that I know for 18 years of my life, I heard my mom say, finish all the food on your plate.
Yeah.
And so not having a clean plate was always a bad connotation. Now, I actually take smaller plates. I use dessert plates for dinner as opposed to dinner plates. And the amount of food that we get here in America, I'm like, I could share this with a small village. So it's just amazing too. So portion control is part of that. But again, going back to that soothing, what can we do to replace the soothing with something else? Because the law of replacement says if this is bad, we need to replace it with a better habit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What would that habit be?
It could be, there are lists of them, things like calling a friend, getting your nails done, all that. Whatever they choose, it needs to be accessible. Because if you have to go somewhere to find it, you're less likely to do it because you'll talk yourself out of it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But
it's also instant gratification, right? It's instant gratification. So we're looking for instant gratification. So that emotional eating, maybe once we identify, so like anything, when I'm coaching, part of it is awareness. And once you become aware, then you can make a choice. But the awareness, like, how do I know I'm emotionally eating? When you're just randomly eating?
Yeah, well, and it could be boredom, which would make it more random, but it could be, I do this exercise with people and find out, okay, what is the food? When did you first have it? And who gave it to you? What was going on around you at the time? I did this.
I remember what I did yesterday. And you want me to remember that?
Well, but if it's a food you always go to,
yeah.
Like for me, it was peanut butter. If I found myself circling the refrigerator, going for another spoonful of peanut butter, I knew there was something going on. And what I finally worked out was it was a connection to my grandmother, who always was supportive, encouraging, and loving to me, right? And somehow I had connected peanut butter, probably because she liked it as well as I did. And once I could look at that and say, oh, wait a minute, she is not in that jar.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But that was just enough for me to go, okay, if I'm looking for peanut butter, I'm looking for love and affirmation. Where else can I get that?
Mine is salty food.
Okay. So if it's a salty food, if you think about when you might have first had that, because there's usually somebody, and there's always a connection with what was
My
going
mom.
on around you.
Yep. My
Your mom. Yeah. Is your mom still with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes it harder. What was it that she gave you that made the difference?
You mean in place of the salty food?
Yeah.
Yeah, the attention, the
Yeah.
affirmation, yeah.
Yeah. For men, it's often ice cream, and usually like 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It's fascinating that it's almost always ice cream for men.
So,
But
so what I'm hearing, I'm sorry to interrupt. What I'm hearing is that you're replacing food with maybe a replacement of someone or something, or is it always someone?
someone or something. For example, the men who always want ice cream, because when their parents took them out for bad news, like they were getting a divorce, or when they lost a little league game, they got ice cream. When they won, they got pizza.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that? So they connect the ice cream with soothing, and often at the end of the day, they're tired. They've been good guys all day. They just want a little soothing.
This
So
is
they go for the ice cream.
their gift to themselves for a good day or a long day.
Right.
Wow, that's so intriguing. That's amazing. So now we know that we're, emotionally eating. It's coming from something that's happened in the past, wherever it started, and there's some association that gives us that soothing feeling. So what did you do then to maintain that weight loss since 2012?
I think it's really important to recognize that when we do the yo-yo thing, we're not being vigilant. We gain 3 or 4 pounds, and then we gain 3 or 4 more, and then it's 10, and then it's 20. And then we go, oh gosh, I've gained 20 pounds. Now I've got to go on a diet again.
Yeah.
But if you keep eating the food that works for your body and you watch it, okay, I've gained 4 pounds and it's been a week and a half. Maybe I need to pay attention. Maybe I've got some creep somewhere, because we get creep.
Now, what's creep?
Creep is when your portion size gets a little bit bigger and then a little bit bigger, or you're not paying attention to the portion size. You're just putting it on the plate and eating all of it. It creeps in on us.
Yeah.
And if we, address it when it's 3 or 4 pounds, that's so much easier than when it's 20. Because in a couple of days, 3 or 4, maybe a week, 3 or 4 pounds can go, because some of it's probably water.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you address it then rather than letting it become 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think that sometimes it's a mindset, right? So we need to be aware of what it is that's causing us to do that, and just take note of it. It's not a judgment of ourselves. No. It is just take note of it. That awareness allows us to make different choices. When we're not aware of why we're doing something, it's hard to make a different choice, because we're not aware that we're doing something that may not be healthy for us or good for us or causing this to happen. And then when we have that awareness, we can replace it with a better thing. The other thing I noticed is, and you said this, you started doing your New Year's resolution. After a couple of days, you stopped, and then you restarted February 1st.
Yeah.
Start the next hour, start the next minute. You probably made a bad choice that moment. Recognize it, become aware of it, and then restart the good choices right away. Right away. So Jack Canfield, who's a mentor, a friend, a colleague of mine, he tells this story about how he's talking to someone. He's trying to release weight. He's trying to get in better fit. He wants to be around a long time for his family, his wife, his grandkids, his kids. And he said that he's on the phone with his coach, and his coach says, well, what are you going to do? And he goes, I'm going to start exercising. And he goes, great, drop and give me 20 right now. And he went, what now? No, I'll do that later. He goes, no, we're starting right now. And I love that story, because it just sticks in my head that, I don't need to wait till Monday. I don't need to wait till after the weekend. I don't need to wait. I can do it right now. And I should do it right now, because the sooner I make that commitment to myself, the better success we have, right?
And the better it feels because you've replaced that failure with, okay, here's what I'm going to do now.
Yeah. And we all have those days, right? We have those days where we're like,
Sure.
you know what? I'm going to have that ice cream, even though I know it doesn't really work for my body.
Right? Yes,
We're
indeed.
going to have that piece of candy and then you feel crappy later and you're like, all right, now I remember why I don't want to do this.
Yes.
So it doesn't make you feel good. And I think the more good food you put in, and for me, it was a mindset of it's fuel for my body. I'm just not eating to eat. I eat to be social. That's part of my culture. It's part of my upbringing, but I need to eat to fuel. I can still be social and not be putting stuff in my mouth, right?
Yeah, take your time with it. And if there's something that you just can't say no to, you just can't. Okay, here's how you do this. This is the protocol. You put it on a plate or bowl. You use the proper utensil. You sit down at the table, because if you're eating it over the trash can, hoping no one will find you, then that's a problem.
Yes.
But sit down at the table, use, a placemat or tablecloth, the crystal, all of that. Just sit down and really enjoy whatever it is.
Make it an event.
Make it an event, because if you're not going to enjoy it, you may as well be eating celery.
Right. Well, it's not as fun. Not as fun. I get it. And then you really, you're making a real decisive choice to sit and eat that. And then, like you said, enjoy it. If you're going to do it, at least have fun.
Because you need to give that food the same honor that you are giving that craving.
Nice. And is craving is that a replacement for emotional? Is that what craving is?
Sometimes it is. Yeah, like me and the peanut butter, definitely. That was what I knew would soothe me. Sometimes it's physical. Maybe there's I understand pregnant women have cravings, and it usually has something to do with what their body is missing.
Yeah.
And women at points during their cycle may want chocolate, but there are certain chemicals in chocolate that help you. So there's always a reason. It's not just random. You just have to find what it is, find what's driving the bus, and take away the keys.
I love that. Find what's driving the bus and take away the keys. I love it. Yeah. That comes with awareness. Again, it changes your choice options.
And mindset, right? Because my mindset is I want to stay this size. What do I need to do to stay there?
Yeah. What is your thought process of, how us women, we have all different sizes in our closet, of getting rid of, once you get to the place where you are, getting rid of all those just in case clothes?
I had 4 different sizes in my closet when I started this. Yes. And it was my skinny clothes, my watch it now, Renee clothes, my fat clothes, and my really, Renee. So I now have 2 outfits from my largest size, and the rest went. No matter what condition they were in, I took them to Goodwill or wherever, because they had to be out. There was no going back. Failure was not an option. But I kept the other 2 because I do speaking, and I sometimes use them as props.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love that. Yeah. So I lost 25 pounds, 25.5 pounds right now.
Well done.
And I cleaned out my closet and found that I got 2/3 more in clothes that I wasn't wearing. I'm actually in my closet changing, having a lot more choices. And I got rid of the other sizes because I choose not to go that way. So if things are getting snug, then I know I have to make better choices. And
yes.
And for me, I have 6 pounds to go. So I want to go 6 more pounds to be in that wiggle room, that just give myself a weekend wiggle room, because every once in a while you go up a couple pounds.
Yeah.
Do that. But it allows me to be very mindful of that and clear it out. Don't give myself that option. I don't want that fallback. I don't want that fallback. Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So how, I know that you said that, it's emotional eating. So how do we overcome emotional eating?
I have an acronym that works for me. It's not hard to overcome emotional eating. You just have to get the hang of it. And hang is the acronym. So the H is, am I hungry? If you are, you may well need something to eat. But if you're not, what is the attraction to food in that moment? What's driving it? The N, what do I actually need other than food? Do I need a hug? Do I need a quick walk around the building? Do I need to play with the dog or pet the cat? What do I need in this that I'm trying to fill with food? And then the G is go. Go get that, because that will soothe you more than food ever possibly could. And it lasts.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely brilliant and beautiful. I love the go get that, because sometimes you're craving something and you don't have that, so you eat all this other stuff and then you find that and you still eat that. So the go get that is the what you really actually need. So hang. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with the beautiful, amazing, unbelievably smart Renee Jones, intellectual, giving us all this yumminess. We're going to take a small break and we'll come right back. PackYourOwnBag.com, Renee Jones. We're going to take a quick break. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne. And if you'd like to be a guest or lift up your business or product or non-for-profit, we would love to hear from you. Email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. And we'll be more than happy to return the emails. I actually answer every single email and love chatting with you guys. You send us in great requests and great ideas. So come back and send us some correspondence. We love that. So welcome back. Today we're speaking with the lovely Renee Jones from PackYourOwnBag.com. Totally brilliant, talking about really honoring cravings and really looking at what weight release program can work for you. So one of the things you said, Renee, and welcome back to the show, by the way.
Thank you.
One of the things you said is you found food that works with your body. So what does that mean? And how do we find out what food works for our bodies?
Well, I always thought of nutrition plans as a way to find what worked for your body. Does it leave you hungry? When I was losing my weight and when I was trying to maintain it, I was still on the low fat, low calorie thing, and I was tired, hungry, and cranky all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought, this is not working. There's got to be something better than this. And I found a metabolic assessment that I now give to all my clients that basically takes into account, whether they've got some health issue going on. And it's just a series of questions, no blood involved here. And we just go through that. Now, you can do it on your own, but you've got to be vigilant. You've got to know what you're eating, what left you hungry or satisfied. And that put me on to trying to get more protein, which is great for women. We just don't get enough. And adding in the good fats that you now hear people talk about all the time. Yeah. And I was amazed by what it did for my body. I wasn't so foggy anymore. I wasn't tired and hungry, and I certainly wasn't cranky. So it comes down to assessing what works for you. And you can do it with, just writing it down and assessing each day, or you can take a metabolic profile that will help you.
If someone goes to packyourownbag.com, can they take that metabolic assessment with you?
I do it with them.
Yeah. That would be,
but yes,
they need to set an appointment with you so that they can go through that, or they can do it themselves. I know I was surprised when they wanted to jumpstart my metabolism, is that they were saying every time I ate, I needed to do 20 grams of protein. That's a lot.
That is a lot, but
that's a lot, but that's what jump started and it's what my body needed. And you had mentioned foggy. That always told me not enough fuel. I don't have enough fuel. So it's just like your car starts puttering, right? When you're running out of gas, your car putters. That's the best mindset that I would be able to, a relatable mindset that I could come up with to when I get foggy. I haven't nourished and fueled my body enough in order for it to function. So it starts shutting down different areas in order to keep it running. You know, suddenly the air conditioner doesn't work anymore in your car. And suddenly, so the same thing with our bodies, our systems just start to kind of shut down. And then the crankiness comes because our hormones get all out of whack. Funny story. I went to Italy with my son a few years back, and we went to Milan, and no disrespect, I love Milan. It's gorgeous. The women are stunning. It's the, fashion capital of the world. And all these women were gorgeous, but they were this big. They were like these tiny little rails, and they were cranky. And I'm like, darling, you got to just eat a sandwich. You just need to eat a sandwich because you are really cranky. They're smoking like fiends, but they haven't eaten. And she goes like, sweetheart, I haven't, in Italian. She goes, sweetheart, I haven't eaten a sandwich since I was 18 years old. And I'm like, well, you look gorgeous, but darn, you're cranky. I know. So the crankiness comes out of that as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Our bodies right.
Not fueling and not keeping our blood sugar level.
Yeah.
Because for me, that was the thing, is my blood sugar was up and down all the time. And once I got that leveled out, there was a point after about 2 months, my husband turned to me and said, who are you and what have you done with my wife? I said, I know, I'm nicer, right? And he said, yes. I said, yeah, keeping my blood sugar stable. Yeah, it helps. Being fueled well, not throwing, a wrench into the works with for me, too much sugar makes me crazy.
Yeah. And the yo-yo diet makes you crazy, and depriving you. Life is not about deprecation, right? Deprivation. Yeah. Life is not about that. I was like, no, that's not right. It's, I guess I need to eat something because I'm not
probably.
So it's not about that. It's really about finding what works for you and giving yourself the permission to have the treats once in a while. It's like everything else, everything in moderation. And that is really helpful in this process. I love your hang process. The, am I hungry? The A being attraction to food at this time and what's driving me to be attracted to that particular food. The N being the need. What do I actually need? I don't necessarily need the food. I might really just need a hug. I might need to phone a friend. I just might need some, a walk outside in the sun, and then the G for hang is go get that, go get whatever it is that you need, that walk in the park, that being out in the sun, the phoning a friend or something else to give you that soothing love. Yeah. Do you think it goes back to how, so often we feel unseen and unheard? Do you think part of that requirement of soothing is that we're not being seen and heard?
Always. Yeah. Yeah, because we need to be heard. Even the shyest person is looking for someone who actually sees their heart. Yeah. Right. And once our hearts are seen, it just makes so much of a difference for us. Yeah. In the process that I do with people, we start with the body. Absolutely. And then we look at the baggage. Where has your heart been wounded? Let's heal that, because that enables you to be your best self. And when you're your best self, you make better choices all around.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we all have what you refer to as baggage, and
absolutely.
That's why it's pack your own bag, put your
that's
own
right.
stuff you want, unpack other people's stuff. And we actually, I just recently found a study and got backing on all of this, is that we actually gather a lot of our blocks, what I refer to as blocks, you'll refer to as baggage, between the ages of 2 and 12.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It's not a blame. It's not a fault. It's just what happens. We hear something, we take it a certain way, and now we carry it with us and we start to believe it. And those thoughts start to recur over and over again. And what do thoughts turn into? Beliefs, because that's what a belief is, a thought we think over and over again. Thank you, Esther Hicks. But that's what it is. That was the greatest definition of it. But we can change those thoughts. And that's what you're talking about, right? When you say pack your own bag, is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely. Because our bags get packed for us, not intentionally to hurt us, but it just does. And if we can unpack what we no longer need, then we pack for the journey we want to be on.
Yes. So how do we pack those bags?
I think it's important to find the stuff and unpack it, right? Get the stuff out that check with people. What does this mean? I keep hearing this in my mind. What does that mean? Do you have a connection to that? And if they don't, we can let it go, right? I remember having a conversation with my mother, and she was like, "That's what you took from that?" I said, "Yeah." She's, "We didn't mean that at all." Said, "Oh, okay." So then it can heal. And then we can choose the things, like do the personal development stuff, find the words that encourage us. One of the best things I pack in my bag is the alarms I set on my phone. When I'm trying to get something in my brain, I set an alarm, and it goes off the same time every stinking day. And I have to look at it because, you set an alarm, it's going to go off no matter what. Even if the phone is on silent, it goes off. So you have to look at it, because the alarm and the timer, the stop and repeat, are reversed. So you have to look at it to turn it off, which means you have to read it. You've gone silent.
What are the kind of things you put in the alarm?
It depends. It changes a lot, but things like heal hearts, because that's what I feel like is my purpose. Yeah. I do it through weight loss, but it's that, or you are loved. Anything that speaks to you, that you really need to get clear in your mind, put it on an alarm and let it go off for 2 months.
How often? So 2 months, once a day?
Once a day. At one point, I had 5 different ones that went off throughout the day. They were all different, but there were things that I really needed.
And why 2 months? 60 days is the magic number?
Oh, you can let it go on for many months longer than that. But I found for me that after 2 months, I stopped going and started to take it in.
Yeah.
Because I was raised in a very cynical household. The whole affirmation thing was new to me. So it took me a couple of months, but it's just good to have that much in terms of getting it really deep into your mind and heart.
Well, and it takes 21 days to break a habit and 90 days to create a lifestyle change. So if you're falling in between those two, you're really, some people say 75 days. I'm finding it's more 90.
Make it whatever you need.
Yeah, exactly. It's between that time period and whatever sinks in, allowing it to work. So yeah, at the beginning, it's like, yeah, right. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. But then you start to believe it. It's in my world, it's called believing your own press. So if you hear something enough, and a lot of times it's negative stuff.
Yeah.
I know I had a partner years ago, my husband, he would tell me the same thing over and over and over again. And after a while, I started to believe the press because I heard it so many times.
Yeah.
And I had to unwind that. I had to eliminate the tapes, in my brain that said that to myself over and over and over again. So we start to believe our own press. Why not believe good press?
Yes.
Right? Why not?
And it's harder. We easily believe the bad press.
Yeah.
It's harder to begin to believe the good press.
Why is that? Why can't we absorb the happy, good, lovey, yummy stuff as easily as we accept the negatives?
We were never taught to. We were taught to, demure. No, thanks. I've had this dress for years, taught to deflect it.
Yeah.
So we're not accustomed to learning how to take it in. Because that feels a little arrogant. If you actually believe it, you're being arrogant, right?
Yeah. Oh no, must be humble.
Must be humble. See what we're taught? These are the things that we're taught. So it takes us a while to actually be able to take it in.
Well, you can still be humble and believe greatness of yourself. And we all are. My listeners hear this all the time, but we are all great in our own right. And when we sit in our genuine self, that's when that greatness comes out. And that's why we're here, that we need to be here and be ourselves so that we can bring the gift that we're supposed to deliver. We're supposed to serve that, share that. And when we don't, it's selfish. A moment of my mom for a second. it really is. We're here to serve and learn. So how we learn, that makes us grow, but our superpowers are what we're here to serve. So we cannot be humble with our superpowers. We need to believe it to our depths and understand that we are here to do that. And when we do, we sit in that. When we believe it to our depths, we sit in it in such a humble manner. Have you noticed that? Because I noticed that very, very humble.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when someone was helping me figure out what I do. And when it just sort of came out, I help people heal their hearts. And there was no pride in that. It was just like, yeah, that's my job. That's what I can do. And I think if we can claim it and then go to it, we don't have to worry about pride anymore.
Yeah. I help people find their purpose.
There you go. Yeah.
I see their greatness. I see it as soon as I meet them. I'm like, oh, they're supposed to do blah, blah. That's one of my superpowers.
Cool.
But that's one of my superpowers. I'm like, oh, they're supposed to, why are they doing this? So it's just their choices, and we're allowed to make those choices, and nobody's ever in the wrong place at the wrong time. Everybody's exactly where they are in the right place. Any decision they make, it's really not wrong. It just depends on what path we're going on. I liken it to Waze, the program.
Yeah.
They always give you 3 ways to go: a short way, a direct way, and a real, real long way. In the past, I used to take the real, real long, hard way. I don't know why. I just tried to round peg, square hole everything, right? I wanted it to look like this, and that's what I wanted, and that's all I would accept. And I would find out that, universe, God, source, however you refer to your higher power, was laughing hysterically, going, all right, you're still going to end up there, but all right, you just take whatever route you want. And I started learning to listen to the whispers and the nudges and the messages. And part of that is listening to our intuition, which is that good, yummy feeling of, oh, I'm supposed to do this. And, oh, okay, I don't need this binky anymore. Oh, that's about my mom. I'm going to think and honor my mom as opposed to putting this food in my mouth, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. You got it. That's it.
It's just amazing. How else can people work with you, Renee? Because, oh my gosh, I have so many people I want to send to you.
Yeah, just contact me. I am a coach. I'm a speaker. I'm a writer. So come to packyourownbag.com or on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube.
Yeah, all the information will be below this program. It always comes with all the various ways you can find us in this program at Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. So I love that you do that. You wrote a book or books?
I did. Yes. What's really eating you?
Oh, I love that. What's really eating you? And they can find that on Amazon?
Amazon. The audiobook just came out in all the different places you can buy audiobooks.
Oh, nice. Was it your voice or somebody else?
It was. I did it.
Your voice?
I did it.
How cool are you? And that's good. You have a beautiful voice. I love it. You have a bit of an accent. Where are you from?
I'm actually from Texas, but I spent about 4 years living in Wales, and I visit regularly, and I Voxer with a friend every day. So yeah, it comes out now and again.
There it is. There it is. I was like, there's some kind of English thing going on here, but it wasn't very consistent. Every once in a while I'll say "pak the ka," and that's my parents, because my whole family comes from up in New England. So I have that hard R going on. So that's beautiful. What's your why? Why do you do what you do?
I think it's important to help others heal. And if I can give somebody the same kind of gift I was given, that's just fantastic.
That yummy feeling.
Yes. Very heady wine.
Yeah. You're helping them jump hurdles that they don't need to jump.
Yeah.
And if they want to, they can, and you'll be there while they jump them. But if they can walk around the hurdle, it's almost like skiing. I liken it to skiing. I could take the mogul, but I'd rather go around the mogul because I don't like the feeling of going through the air without control. So we help people go around the mogul as opposed to, taking the jump. But sometimes don't some of us need to have the experience to really get the depths of the learning?
Yes. Yeah. Because if you're going to take it forward, you got to know why.
Yeah. Yeah. It is just an amazing situation. I know, you could tell your kids that oven's hot, it's going to burn. And if they don't listen, they're going to learn that lesson,
Very
unfortunately.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, very quickly. So, and that's how we grow. We learn lessons, and that's how we get out of our comfort zone. But the great thing about having a coach is we take them through that, right?
Yes, we have.
Take the walk with them.
Yeah. Help them, keep them on the path rather than straying, which sometimes we do. It's like, no, come back here. Remember, our heart's healing. Okay. All right. Carry on.
Yeah. We get them back on. It's like you're weaving out, and that's okay. Okay. None of this is bad. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you bad. It just is.
It's learning.
Yeah.
It's like a toddler learning how to walk, or a baby learning how to walk. They fall down a lot.
Oh, I love that analogy, because I told somebody, I was actually doing a speaking engagement, and I was like, so, I know we get embarrassed and things like that, but think of babies. They fall down. They don't go, oh, Johnny saw me fall, I'm never walking again. They just cry, and then they get up and they try it again until they're able to master it after repeating it over and over and over again. It's one step at a time, and it sounds very corny, but the truth is life is one step at a time, and we need to be gentle with ourselves, right?
Yes, please do, because you don't deserve what you've been doing to yourself.
Absolutely. We speak so not nice to ourselves. We have to start with speaking nicely to ourselves, appreciating who we are, and that is humble, and that is okay. It is all right. And spend a lot of time laughing at yourself, because I make mistakes every day. It's so funny. I'm like, oh, I did a Lorianne. I'm like, all right. So I notice it, I recognize it, I acknowledge it, and then I can make a different choice, or I could do it again, which sometimes. Right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I love this journey that you went on. Thank you for sharing the journey. Your book is, I wrote it down. Oh, here. Go ahead.
What's Really Eating You?
That's it. What's Really Eating You is your book. You can find it on Amazon. Visit you at packyourownbag.com. Renee Jones, you are a superhero. Last words to our listeners. Anything? Any thought come to mind?
Go be your best self.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us today, Renee.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I hope we earned the privilege of your time. Again, thank you for joining us. We look for you next week, same time, same bat channel. Until then, I am Lorianne Casdia. Play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and show up big, huge, fantastic. Thank you again, Renee.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody.